Welcome, my political friends of the interwebs, and welcome to my expert analysis of the second presidential debate between Obama and Romney. All right, listen. First and foremost, I've got to say this. I just have to. I don't have any choice. I want to say Obama is a liar. President Obama is a liar. And it made me sick. There were several times tonight that I literally thought that I was going to hurl. I think that his new strategy for his debates is to just lie and hope like hell that the left-wing media has his back. And by the way, if Candy, tonight's moderator, is any indication, that is exactly what we can expect to see tomorrow in the news. Just unbelievable to me. By the way, I'll get to the Candy thing. Believe me, I will get to that. Well, before I even start, though, let me say that I will say that I did appreciate the love that President Obama gave former President Bush. That was touching. It brought a little tear to my eye. It was really touching. All right, so why am I so hopped up and insisting on calling him a liar? Well, some of you who know me and follow me can only imagine. The thing of it is this. The energy thing. The coal thing. The whole thing makes me nauseous because I know firsthand the effects that the Obama administration has had on the coal industry, the energy industry as a whole. I know these things firsthand. So when I see a man up there who's the president of the United States of America, literally looking into a camera and lying, it makes me sick. It really, truly makes me sick. And knowing also that the majority of the country doesn't know what I know. That's the sick thing. Because as he's spewing these lies about how he supports coal and how he has an all of the above energy policy, as he's spewing these lies, it just makes me sick. I don't know. Now, I didn't get a chance. I should have, but I didn't get a chance to go to his website. But the last time I went to the official Obama campaign website and looked at his energy policy, it never mentioned coal. Not one time. So if it does now, by the way, and those of you who are watching this, go ahead and check that for me. If it does now, it's a new development. I'll tell you that right now. Because apparently Obama's now he's on board with coal. Oh, he always qualifies it by saying clean coal, which, I don't know what his idea of clean coal is. Okay, well, no, I know what it is. If you can find coal that will burn 100% clean, then he's all for it. He is all for it. It absolutely kills me. It just absolutely kills me. The other thing too, here's something I want everybody to understand. All right, because I know that there's been a war on coal for the last 4 years. All right, and I will tell you that a lot of people are looking at natural gas to replace coal as a source of energy. And we heard tonight President Obama banging on about natural gas, and I am 1,010% for natural gas. I own 3 natural gas wells personally. So, yeah, I'm a fan of natural gas. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you a little something. Because I know a little something. Now and again, I know a little something. The fact of the matter is that the same forces that have been working against coal for the last 4 years in the Obama administration are the same forces that are working against fracking. Now you have to understand this because this is very, very important. The only reason that we have the ability to bring the natural gas out of the ground in the levels that we have been is because of fracking. Okay? So the Obama administration, through the EPA, and Lisa Jackson, the head of the EPA, over the last 4 years have waged a war on coal and on the same time, a low-level war against fracking, which will be ramped up, by the way, because ultimately their goal is to eliminate fossil fuels. And they don't care how much electricity ends up costing the American people. In fact, I believe Obama has been on record as saying that the price of energy will necessarily skyrocket. Okay, necessarily in the sense that where they want to go with their energy policy, where they want to go with this green boondoggle that they've got going on. That they refuse to call a boondoggle, but we all know it is. We know it is because we see it in the newspaper every day. Yet another company going bankrupt that took money from the taxpayers. And I mean real money. I'm not talking chump change. I mean real money. So here's the thing. What you will see in a second term Obama administration is a war on fracking, just like we've seen the war on coal. And what the results will be electricity bills that will be staggering, that will be unaffordable by anybody except for the very wealthy. It will amount to a huge green tax on all of us. So when I hear him talk about energy, it just makes me sick because I know. I was happy, though, that Mitt did break it off in him over the North Dakota thing, because in North Dakota, which they're having an oil boom there, and tremendous amounts of natural gas as well, they're using fracking. And it's interesting to know that Obama's administration sent its EPA thugs in there, and that's exactly what they are, thugs, to sue, to bring lawsuits over dead birds and whatnot. Because they're not for domestic energy. They're not. So listen, when I hear Obama talk about how he supports domestic energy, how he supports drilling and coal and all this stuff, it makes me sick because I know what it's flat out a lie. It's absolutely a lie. Okay, I'll be honest with you. And listen, Mitt said something that I thought was reasonably important, and that is the proof is at the pump when it comes to energy. Because I've heard over the last year, the left wing try to spin this false narrative about how the president doesn't really have anything to do with the price at the pump, blah blah. Which, by the way, wasn't the story that they were telling when Bush was president. Remember that they wanted congressional hearings on Halliburton and every other damn thing, and they wanted I think they wanted the public execution of Dick Cheney. But here's the thing. Literally, here's the thing, and this is why when I tell you that the left has over the last year, and because they've known this election was coming, and they know what Obama's policies are doing to the price of energy. So over the last year, the left-wing media has spun this narrative about how the president really doesn't have much to do with the energy and how it's a global market. And because it's a global market and China and India is putting pressure on the global demand, that's why the price of gasoline is going up, because they're driving the price of oil up. And to some extent, they're absolutely right. Here's their problem, though. It is a supply and demand. It's a global supply and demand. Okay, and the more production that you can put in place, the more supply that you can put on the global market, the more depressed the prices will become. The prices will come down. So Obama tries to tell you that under his administration, drillings went off the charts and this and that, blah, blah, blah. It's all bullshit. It is absolute bullshit. And what Mitt said tonight was absolutely correct. And if the media would do its job, they would fact check the bullshit that came out of Barack Obama's mouth tonight, and we would get the truth. But we won't. We just won't. The fact of the matter is that the president of the United States could bring down the price of gas tomorrow by opening up federal lands for drilling. Well, seriously, we're still not drilling in Anwar? Seriously. Can somebody tell me why? Really? Bill Clinton made it a national wildlife preserve? Bill Clinton made it a pristine wilderness? What? It's a frozen tundra, for God's sake. Meanwhile, you've got Vladimir Putin up in the Arctic drilling. He's drilling, baby. Sarah Palin's seeing him from her backyard going, damn, he's drilling, isn't he? Seriously, we can't drill in Anwar all these years later. That's what we're dealing with. We can't. There's a moratorium on drilling off the coast, where we know for a fact there is a shit ton of oil. We know this because of the oil spill, the BP oil spill. In fact, I was told that BP oil spill was the biggest discovery in this hemisphere of oil. But now, guess what? We're not drilling it. We can't drill. Nope, can't drill. So the oil thing really drove me crazy. The energy thing really drove me crazy. He's just a liar. He's an absolute liar. And his EPA will have us all living in caves, huddled over a dung fire to keep warm. Well, no, they will not allow us to huddle over a dung fire, because that would absolutely cause global warming. These people are insane and literally destroying this country. To say they're just destroying this country. Okay, now Libya. I'll tell you what. The Libya thing drove me crazy too, because I watch as a political vlogger on YouTube. I obviously had a dog in the fight. What I mean by that is, almost immediately, Obama started spinning this false narrative about how all this was due to a YouTuber who made an anti-Islam video or anti-Muhammad video, whatever. That was the narrative. And that was the narrative that he spewed for 2 weeks, literally, before he just couldn't contain the truth any longer. Obama, it amazes me. And that whole thing, there needs to be an investigation about this. They got Hillary Clinton, who's permanently out of the country, probably until after the elections. What is she, in Paraguay or someplace, Panama? They've sent her somewhere overseas, and they've locked her up in a $10,000 a night suite. I mean, seriously? If you want to know what Barack Obama's foreign policy looks like, take a look at the Middle East. It's on fire right now. It's truly on fire. And you know what? It kills me. And not to go back in time here, because I really did want to just stick to this debate. But for Obama to say, or I shouldn't say Obama, but for Joe Biden to say that Obama spent all this time on the phone with Bibi, Netanyahu, and that everything's cool, it doesn't match up with what the reality was. All I seen was Netanyahu trying desperately. I mean, he looked like a desperate man, trying desperately to get anybody to listen to him. So it doesn't seem to me like President Obama had these long conferences with Bibi on the phone, in front of old Joe, calming the fears of Israel. Because what you've seen in reality was a desperate man trying desperately to save his country and knowing that he was getting no help from the United States and watching the Middle East erupt into a jihad of fire. So, yeah, the whole Middle East policy is ridiculous. The lies that come. Obama's his ambassador to the United Nations for 2 weeks lied her ass off, not only at the United Nations, but on every news show that would have her. And they rounded up this poor bastard, this YouTuber. They rounded him up in the middle of the night, threw a pillowcase over his head and shoved him in the back of a car. As far as I know, he's still a political prisoner somewhere. Well, I don't know. They got him in Gitmo. This was their patsy, people, because I'll tell you right now, the fact of the matter is that the Obama administration was asleep at the switch. Now, whether that was Hillary Clinton's fault or whether the buck literally stopped at Obama's desk, either way, the Obama administration screwed the pooch on this deal. They knew it was 9/11. They knew and Obama had been running around harping about how he killed Osama bin Laden. He did it tonight even. And he wants to blame some YouTuber for starting something which was not true, wasn't the truth. He knew it wasn't the truth. They knew it wasn't the truth. So what do we got? We've got nothing but lies. Literally nothing but lies. We got lies, and we got an incompetent at best foreign policy. And I will tell you right now, along with that United States ambassador, Hillary Clinton's chances of becoming president died as well. I mean, literally. She's apparently she's willing to fall on her sword for the administration. But it's funny. She makes a statement about how it's her fault, and then she disappears. This is what we're dealing with, people. This is the kind of administration we're dealing with. And for those of you who support Obama, take a step back and look at that and think to yourself, you've got to think to yourself, that's jacked up. Who does? I don't want to ever hear anything more about the Nixon administration. It's ridiculous. Okay, and then for me, I'll tell you what, for the most part, the debate came to a halt when Obama said in his, let me paraphrase here. In Obama's second term, he's going to push for an assault weapons ban. He's going to push for gun bans. Now, listen, and let me tell you guys something. You heard him say assault weapons. You heard him say guns designed for military. We know what he's talking about. He wants to go back to the Clinton-era gun bans. That's what he wants. But did you hear the part where he said, well, the people in Chicago, his hometown of Chicago, they're being killed with cheap guns? Okay, well, read between the lines, people. If there are any of my gun supporting friends who after tonight are still voting Democrat, are still going to vote for President Obama, just turn in your guns. Turn them in. You don't deserve to have them. You're too freaking stupid to have them. If you're still going to support President Obama after what he said tonight, turn in your guns. All except for flintlocks. You're allowed to keep the flintlocks. I mean, come on. Seriously? So we know for a fact that a second-term Obama administration is all about trying to ban guns. All kinds of guns, not just assault weapons. The cheap guns, too. Well, what's a cheap gun? Any gun under $1,000, is that a cheap gun? Or is it under 100? I mean, I don't know. Define a cheap gun. I know some less expensive guns that are pretty good guns. But because they're less expensive, see, that's the thing. We do know from history what a Democratic assault weapons ban looks like, or weapons ban looks like. It's very arbitrary. It's subjective. A bayonet apparently makes it evil. Without a bayonet, it's not evil. It's the same thing with cheap guns. It's going to be exactly like cheap guns. Well, if it's got a, if it's got a safety, it's okay. If it doesn't have a safety, I mean, I can only imagine. I can only see the United States Senate. I can only see these rejects in the United States Senate coming up with definitions. Can you imagine Dianne Feinstein like she did last time, waving the weapon around? I can only imagine the kind of definitions they're going to come up with, because I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to make the Clinton assault weapons ban look like a joke, literally look like a joke. So for me, that pretty much ended the debate. I don't even remember what was said after that, but I do remember this. So Obama was willing to hang himself on the assault weapons or weapons ban. I hesitate to call this assault weapons because he did then go ahead and talk about how the cheap guns. So listen, bottom line, it's going to be a weapons ban, gun ban. It's going to be a gun ban across the board. It's not just going to end with AK-47s or AR-15s or anything like that. Semi-automatic shotguns, it's not going to end with that. But here's the thing that kills me about candy. Remember at the beginning I told you I was going to get back to candy? Well, I'm about to. So Obama hung himself with the gun ban. I don't know that he meant to do that, or if it's just his liberal came out at him. It was towards the end of the night. Maybe he was getting a little tired, because I guarantee you there were people in his camp that were like, "Oh, he didn't just say gun ban, did he?" Yeah, no, he did. He just said gun ban. But then you had candy. After everything, it's like, you watch a guy completely foobar himself. And then here comes Candy to the rescue. The nonpartisan moderator of the debate. So here comes Candy. Oh, President or Mr. Romney, didn't you sign an assault weapons ban when you were a governor? Well, sure. Here's the thing. And I know that there are some of my friends that don't agree with this, but bottom line, if you're going to be the governor of a communist state, okay, like Massachusetts. Now, we're talking about a state that elected Ted Kennedy, drunken murderer of women, over and over and over and over. Okay, if you're going to be a Republican and you're going to be elected governor in that state, you better be willing to compromise and literally, you better be willing to govern from the middle or to the left of the middle, because otherwise you're just not getting elected. Now, I'm willing to forgive Mitt Romney's indiscretions as he was when he was governor. I am. I'm willing to dismiss that and to forgive that, because I realize he was the governor of a communist state. They've proven himself to be that. Those people there don't like liberty. If you're living in Massachusetts or two shits, you don't like liberty. You just don't. A few of you do, because I have friends that live there. Why, I don't know, but you're still living there, aren't you? You can't. I mean, I know most of you want to get the hell out of there. So, here's the thing. He's disavowed doing any kind of assault weapons ban. He's disavowed doing weapons bans in general. He said the right things tonight, and then he was pressed because Candy felt the need to come to Obama's defense on this, because she knew. See, she's a whole lot smarter than Obama, but Obama's not that bright. I don't care what anybody says. If you're trying to sell me that bundle of goods that he's real smart, I'm not buying it anymore. And I don't know that I ever bought it, but I'm not buying it, because bottom line for me, until you show me the transcripts of his collegiate life, You know, all I have to go by is the stupid shit that he says and does. None of it good. So here comes Candy from the left-wing media to the rescue. And that really kind of made me sick. It made me sick because it just illustrated to me exactly what we're dealing with. Exactly what Mitt Romney has to deal with. It's sad. It's sad. It's irresponsible. It's journalistic treason. Now, some people will argue that. Some people will be like, well, wait a minute. She was just trying to make sure that there was need. Listen, this is a debate. I used to be on the debate team when I was in school. And I can't remember any time where one of the judges jumped in to clarify some things that my opponent did or did not say, or ask me some things to make sure that I didn't completely kick my opponent's ass. Never once. Imagine that. But here comes Candy to the rescue. I don't know how she got her fat ass up on that horse, but she did. I don't know. It's just very, very, very frustrating to me when I watch this madness ensue. You know, and I know right now the left-wing media is going to be harping about how Obama really pulled it out this time around. When the real story should have been how Obama shot himself in the foot. I mean, listen, believe me when I tell you that gun bans are a poison pill. If you don't believe me, look at the midterm elections when Clinton passed those the gun bans. When he signed a gun ban into law, when President Bill Clinton signed the crime bill with the assault weapons ban, which included magazines and all kinds of stuff, that next election, the Democrats all got booted out. I mean, it was a bloodbath. It was literally a bloodbath. So we've known for a long time that gun bans are a poison pill. You stay away from them. You stay away from them. So when Obama made that what should have been fatal error tonight, okay, and then when I see the supposed nonpartisan moderator come in to save his patootie, it makes me sick. It just, listen, not that I'm not unaware that the media is left wing. I'm not. We all know the media is left wing. But come on, seriously? So here's the thing. So tomorrow's story is going to be how, compared to what Obama had going on in the last debate, he did pretty good. Because in the last debate, he got his ass reamed. Now they're going to say, holy cow, he's the comeback kid. He schooled Romney, which is bullshit and shouldn't be the headline story. The headline story tomorrow should be Obama's second term includes gun bans. That's exactly what it should be, but that's not what it's going to be. Anyway, where are we at time-wise? Good Lord, 23 minutes. All right, listen. Chime in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about the debate. It's very frustrating to me. For those of you who are new to my channel and you wondered what this thing was waving around here, I had an injury. I cut my thumb off. Well, not all of it, but so that's what that is. I try not to wave that around, but sometimes, it's hard not to. I'm not digging the pop filter. I'm just not. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's constrict. It just throws me off my game. It just does. So I might keep it for my podcasting, but for the parts where we're going to be doing the video stuff, I think this will probably be the last time you see the pop filter. I know some of you are really insisting on it, but, ultimately, it's good to be king, and I'm going to make the decision. So, I don't know. All right, listen, everybody. Like I said, let me know what you think. That's it. Take care. See ya.